Ijoma is preparing to have sex with Will. They have been dating for a few months and she feels it's the right time. Will comes on top of her, admiring her breasts. In the heat of the moment, Ijoma tells him that she loves him. She knew he was afraid to say it first, so she said it instead. This makes Will angry. He asks her why she had to ruin a good moment. He tells her that he does the same things with her that he does with 5 other women. Will tells her they're just having fun and that what they have is nothing more than friends with benefits. Meanwhile, Will's friend KK is looking for a house and asks Will to help him find a good one. The scene shifts to a woman named Violet, who is also looking for a house. The agent refuses to rent it to her due to a state policy. Unmarried women are not allowed to rent there. Violet is not married. Will, seeing this, steps in and pretends to be her husband. Violet is shocked but quickly gets into character to help secure the house. The agent believes them and agrees to rent the house. Violet moves in and her friend, Maruim, helps her settle. Violet tells Maruim about Will, the Good Samaritan who helped her. Maruim asks if she took Will's number, and Violet says yes, joking that he's technically her husband now, in the landlord's eyes. Later, KK and Will are having drinks. Kay asks about Violet. Will brags that no woman can resist his charm. He mentions that Violet invited him over for dinner, supposedly to say thank you, but Will thinks it's something more. Will and Violet have dinner and wash dishes together. Violet wishes him goodbye. Will thanks her for having him, and just as he's about to kiss her, she stops him. He pretends he only wanted to kiss her on the cheek. As she opens the door for him to leave, Will instead sits on the couch and asks her for the house key. He explains that if their plan of pretending to be husband and wife is going to work, he'll need access in case the landlord drops by unexpectedly. Violet, desperate to keep the house she loves, agrees. Will is a womanizer, sleeping with multiple women, but what bothers him is that Violet doesn't respond to his texts. She seems uninterested in him. One day, Violet goes to meet her friend, Maruim. Will, who is in the neighborhood, approaches Violet, asking why she hasn't replied to his messages. Before she can answer, Will's date shows up and takes him away. Maruim arrives and gives Violet the contact of a dealer she was looking for. Later, Faith catches Will texting a number saved as wife, wishing her good night. She gets angry and asks why he's married. Will tells her she chose money over love and has always been coming over to his house. Shockingly, the number saved as wife is Violet's. Violet calls Will to inform him that the landlord is suspicious and will be dropping by. She asks if Will is available and tells him to dress nicely. Will reassures her not to worry and even says that she's saved as wife in his phone. When Will meets the landlord, he steps outside to speak with him. Afterward, he tells Violet everything went well and that the landlord didn't suspect anything. Violet thanks him and brings out her laptop, asking for his opinion on a project she's working on. As they talk, Will admires her beauty and compliments the ring she's wearing. Violet takes it off and tells him they'll need it to continue the husband-wife act for the landlord. In the heat of the moment, they kiss, and one thing leads to another. The next morning, Will finds Violet and Marim discussing their project. He greets them, wishes them a good day, and leaves. Maruim asks Violet what happened the night before. Violet brushes it off, saying they just had a good time. She insists she doesn't want a relationship. She's still struggling to get over her last one. One day, while Will is in a car talking suggestively to another woman, Violet interrupts them. Will tells the woman she's not important. The woman gets angry, steps out, and slaps him. Will asks Violet why she hasn't answered his texts or calls. She says she's been busy. Jokingly, he asks her out. After dinner, Will drops Violet at home. He tells her she's different from all the other girls he's been with. Usually after he sleeps with someone, they become obsessed, calling and texting nonstop. But Violet doesn't seem to care. Will even asks if the sex was that bad. He admits he really likes her. Violet tells him he can't like her because she becomes crazy in relationships and advises him to get over those feelings for his own good. Will tells KK about his feelings for Violet. Kay insists he's just chasing her for sex and will treat her like all the others once he gets it. Will reveals that they already slept together, but his feelings are real. Kay doesn't believe him and reminds him of how he broke up with Ijeoma after she said she loved him. Will insists this time is different. Days pass. Will texts and calls Violet with no response. He visits her house and knocks, but Violet ignores him. Eventually, she opens the door. Will professes his love and promises to do anything for her. Violet agrees to be his girlfriend, but under strict conditions. He belongs to her alone. She doesn't share, and she's extremely possessive. They begin dating, driving around, cooking together, and playing games. While playing, Violet asks who the girl is that keeps liking all his posts. She tells him she has notifications on his Instagram and demands he block the girl immediately. Will is shocked she even knows the girl's handle. Violet wins a big project that will elevate her career. They celebrate with drinks. That night, Will finds her on the floor, angry. She hands him his phone and asks who the woman is that sent him a nude photo. Will says she's an ex who sends nudes to lure him back, but he swears Violet is the only one he wants. Violet tells him to block all his exes immediately. Days later, Violet pretends to be happy, but she's angry. Someone sent Will a gift for his promotion, a bottle of wine and a thong. Will says he doesn't know who sent it. Violet replies that she'll handle it personally. Later, Will comes home, looking sad. Violet asks what happened. He tells her his partner got fired for being involved in illegal dealings. Violet suspiciously asks, "What did she do?" Will wonders how she knew it was a woman. Violet says she's visited his office and knows. In another scene, Violet gives Will a car air freshener. But Will suspects Violet had something to do with his partner's firing. He tells Kay that Violet scares him. She said she'd handle the person who sent the gift, and now the woman's fired. Kay tells him not to worry. Violet doesn't seem like someone who could hurt anyone. And besides, Will can take care of himself. Violet makes Will's favorite meal. While eating, she tells him that it will be his last meal. Panicking, Will tries to throw up and grab his phone to call a doctor. Violet hands him his phone and starts eating the food. It wasn't poison. Later, Violet tells Maruim about what she did. Maruim says it was wrong. Violet insists it was just a scare tactic. She needed to instill fear in Will. She says it's because Will cheated. The perfume she gave him had a hidden camera. Will meets with Ijeoma, apologizes, and says he regrets how he treated her. Ijeoma accepts his apology, and they've been seeing each other. Violet tells Marie that if she can't have Will, no one will. One day, while changing the wardrobe, Violet finds a ring in Will's pocket. She knows he's planning to propose. Excited, she wears the ring. When Will finds her dancing and cooking in the kitchen, she tells him she saved him the trouble of proposing. She already accepted. Will is stunned. He bought the ring before he knew who Violet really was. Days after Will changed the locks, Violet returned home only to find she couldn't get in. She called him repeatedly, but he ignored her. Frustrated and heartbroken, she smashed her TV, and the stress drove her to talk to herself. She spent the day speaking to Will's photos, lost in her obsession. Then Will got a call. Violet had tried to take her own life by cutting her wrist. Thankfully, Miriam found her in time and rushed her to the hospital. When Will visited, Violet begged him to stay, but he told her firmly that she needed to let go. One day after work, Will arrived home to find his bedroom romantically decorated and Violet waiting. She begged for one last moment together. He accepted a glass of wine, but soon passed out, drugged. When he awoke, tied up, Violet demanded he sign a marriage certificate or she'd have her gang kill Ijeoma, his girlfriend. And his phone had accidentally dialed Ijeoma, who heard everything. The police arrived just in time, arrested Violet, and saved Ijeoma. In the end, Will and Ijeoma hugged tightly, vowing never to leave each other again.